Richard, what did you think of the underlying material, the novel?
I'd never read one of his books before, and I'd seen a couple of the films, and I especially liked Notebook. I thought it was a wonderful, honest and emotional movie, and not easy to do those kind of things. I thought there was potential with this, to be honest, but it had to be very adult. It couldn't be, the forbidden word chick flick. It couldn't go too far in that direction. It had to be an honest story of two people, and adults, who have some self-knowledge and are not hysterics, who are capable and skillful and function in the world. And in telling that story, I thought we could do something that maybe surprised us in the process.
When we meet Paul, what's going on in his life?
Well, it's basically at a very serious crossroads. He's made a lot of alpha people do. He's made a decision to be really good in one area of his life. And his agreement with himself was that he would be the best surgeon, the best doctor. And he's a very good doctor. And he found recently that he had a flaw, he had a failure, and I think it crushed him. And I think that's the subtext of almost everything for him in the story, is that he wasn't as good as he thought he was. And there is a fatal flaw in him. He's well aware that he hasn't been a great husband nor a great father, but I think he's felt, because of his commitment to helping others, being a great doctor, that it compensated for that. And I think he's evaluating all those issues right now.
So would you say that both characters are at crossroads when we meet them?
Yeah, I think strangely he's probably farther into the crossroads. I mean, his marriage is over. His house is sold. And he's kind of a guy on the road right now. I mean, albeit he's got a Jaguar on the road. But he has a surface plan that he's going to go to this town, Rodanthe, and fix the situation with his patient's husband. And then he's going to go to Ecuador and fix the situation with his son, the doctor, who's in a clinic there. I think, again, that's a kind of an alpha mentality, is that you can fix things. You can make it right by force, personal will, and charisma, and make it happen. And I think there's a sense of humility and a sense of listening and softness in him that we start to see emerge in the process of this movie.
But when they first run into each other, when they first meet, it's not like up music. It's not that, is it? It's not sparks.
No, in fact, we played against it. So much so that actually when I saw the film edited, it was much warmer than when we actually shot it. Because I made this decision that really I didn't want to see her. I didn't want to notice this was a pretty girl. Nothing. It was just business. Which room is it? How much? Credit card. This is the room. Great. Let me close the door. Okay. And be in this room alone. And it was actually much tougher the way we played it. It softened a little bit in the editing. But I think from both of our sides, it was, we'll be professional and straightforward, but we're not noticing the other world. We're so self-involved. With real problems. With real adult problems.
This is your third time you're working with Diane. Do you guys have a shorthand already?
We do. I think there is what's peculiar is we almost never see each other outside of making movies. We talk maybe twice a year, Christmas cards, and that's about it. But I think the positive nature of the working relationship we've had, and a kind of a generous feeling towards each other, a basic goodwill towards each other, and a wanting the other to succeed in life, has certainly made it easier for us to work together, but also want to be around each other.
You know, you've been working with each other since so many years. Does it help to the relationship in the film to have this history with each other?
Well, yeah. I mean, you don't have to push anything. You know, there's a lot to pull on. We've told three pretty difficult stories, emotional stories, and of strong people, and intense. And I think that's something we can draw on. But I think, I was talking about it the other day, I think probably Diane and I have had many lifetimes previously that we've known each other. There was, from the very beginning, an affinity between us, a sense of knowing, which I think has been there in all the work we've done together.
Would you say that these characters go out on a limb?
I think circumstances manifest to make that happen. The storm does that. If the storm wasn't there, he would have come in, fixed, in quotes, fixed the situation with Torelson, and be gone. I think the storm gave them an opportunity, but also forced it to happen. And I think that's, again, one of the archetypal things in this kind of storytelling, if it hadn't been for the storm. You know, when the other movie we made, Unfaithful, if the wind hadn't been blowing that day, you know, and she hadn't dropped her things and the guy picked them up, that story wouldn't have happened. But there are kind of eternal, larger forces that make stories happen.
You've been playing romantic leads for many years now. Does it get better? Does it change? Is it the same?
Well, it's always different. I mean, it's like, you know, when you're in your mid-20s, you have mid-20 energy and confusions. And when you're 50, I just turned 59, certainly the focus of how I see myself in the universe is different than it was then. So the relationships are different. Expectations of, you know, what's going to happen with another person. How that, you know, I think younger, you're kind of looking for that sense of completion. Someone's going to complete me. And I think as you grow older, you realize that's not going to happen. That's not what it's about anyhow. There's nothing to complete. You're complete to begin with. And a sense of generosity, I think, starts to manifest. So relationships change radically.
Yeah, we
find that?
I think so, yes. One last question. The location. How important is this location, this amazing location?
Well, we knew from the beginning that this was going to be a major character in the film. You know, as important and major as Diane and myself in the story. And there was a lot of drama about finding this right house and where would we have to go to find this perfect place. And they actually found it in Rodanthe. It was right on the edge of Rodanthe. And it was a house, I think it was condemned. I don't think it was possible to live in this house. It was not well made, but it had this romantic, iconic power to it. One side of it was a national seashore and was pristine. And the other side were a couple of houses which we CGI'd out of the movie. But yeah, as you can see in this picture, you immediately have emotions that are aroused. You're engaged on a certain level of knowing, you know, of even if you've never been to a beach, you could relate to that. It's somehow the beach of your mind or your imagination, and it gives you a feeling. So in that sense, it really is another character.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.